Guys, for some reason I really just can't seem to get this intro down. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Melinda and I post about literally anything and everything that I'm currently passionate about. Today we are talking about a really interesting subject, I would say, because it's not something that I'm necessarily passionate about, but I think it's really necessary for everyone to sort of learn how to do this along the way in life, if not already know this, because we all are going to be adults someday. So this is a video on adulting 101. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's try to figure out what we want to talk about. Okay, number one, let's talk about your finances. A really good way for you to be able to manage your finances is to create a rough spending plan. And by this, I don't mean necessarily jotting it down, because that might seem super overwhelming at first, and those are only for people who just really have a firm grasp on how to handle their finances. But if you are new to handling your finances, I recommend to just create a rough plan. And what I mean by a rough plan is to sort of look at your weekly or sometimes monthly, depending on how your rent system works. And how I do this is basically I try to figure out my needs and my wants and my staples. I added the staples part because you know that thing that you're just super into, but they don't necessarily fit into the need category, nor does it fit into the want category. For me, that's coffee. That's like a cup of iced latte with coconut milk instead of the normal cow milk. That's my staple. I can't imagine a day without coffee, so I have put that in my staples list. And a staple could also be one meal of eating out in a week, because sometimes you're a student but you also want to live life and socialize. So yeah, you can add that into your staples. Or a staple could be money allocated for like night outs at the end of the week, because I know like if you're a first year especially, you are gonna want to have a lot of night out. I'm just being super frank here, because that wasn't me, and that is kind of me now, but like much less. And yeah, basically just create a rough plan based on your, again, needs, wants, and staples. Your needs are obviously things like your rent. Rent is number one. Make sure you don't skip out on rent. That could be disastrous for you. You might end up homeless. And there is things like electricity bills, Wi-Fi bills. These things, make sure you have them sorted. Like if you're really bad at paying on time, some banks have automated payment systems that you can use to sort of get the bank to automatically transfer a certain amount of money to another account at a certain time of the week. It's just something that like I don't want to think about, and if I can take that off my load, it'll just be so much better. And yeah, it basically avoids the whole like decision fatigue thing where you have to decide, oh, how much money do I need to give this person, how much money do I give to that person. Automated systems, look into it. Your bank may or may not have that option, but if you do, go for it. Okay, so number two is how to sort out your meal. I know eating out is not the most ideal and realistic way of looking at life at uni, because you are just gonna end up broke by the end of the month. That's just how it is. Eating out is not the most cost efficient thing, but you can opt to make your whole food situation easier by simply making a meal plan. And you can do this probably at the weekend before your week starts, and sort of sort out what sort of ingredients go together that can make a decent meal for you, because obviously you need to be fueled to be able to work up there for uni. So yeah, there's that. Uni or work, I'm sorry. Not to exclude you working folk out there, but yeah, you sort of need to make sure that you have a plan for your week. And meal planning doesn't mean that you have to necessarily create the meals like before the entire week or in the beginning of the week. It just means that you need to plan your meals. It means that you need to have an idea of what you need that week or what you don't need, because most of the time, if you are living in a shared accommodation, whether it be a house or a flat, you are sharing fridge space with people, and nobody likes a fridge space hogger. Make sure that you buy maybe just enough for the week, especially when it comes to fresh produce. Buy just enough for the week, and then by the end of the week, just restock. Be super realistic, so you make sure that you buy what you need and not overdo it, because I have so many times where I've bought like an entire loaf of bread and I knew that I would eventually eat it, but not necessarily eat it that week, and it just ended up being moldy. That's just money wasted. Here's a really good one. Try to get frozen food. If you're into making smoothies, get frozen berries, or opt for canned food or dried food, because those tend to be very cheap and last longer. Make the process easy by sort of like buying pre-prepared ingredients like sauces, Thai green curry sauces, pre-made bolognese sauces, and you can buy pre-minced garlic. These things make the cooking process a lot easier, and it's not too much of a splurge like an outdoor meal would be, but it'll be good enough to keep you nourished and healthy. Okay, so I think a huge part of being an adult is probably how you manage your home life, or how you manage the place you stay in. And I know I said that I wasn't really particularly passionate about adulting, but I'm super passionate about like keeping your home in order, because a tidy home is a tidy mind and a tidy life. Essentially, adulting when it comes to your home is establishing rules and good habits. And what I mean here when I say rules is that try to establish rules that are easy and actionable. And actionable in a sense that it is not asking for too much from people. Like, you're not asking them to like vacuum every single day. You're only asking what is reasonable. What is reasonable to keep a cohesive and harmonious home environment. Yeah, and I think even though it's important to be reasonable and not too over demanding, it is also very, very important to be specific about what you want. For example, if you don't particularly like the fact that dishes pile up, just say do not leave dishes in the sink. And you can even specify that either you wash them and put them to the side, or put them in the dishwasher. Like, these are things that are super easy for people to do, and it's not asking for too much. Just be specific and don't over demand, because when you over demand, you sort of like make people take a step back and not really feel like contributing in a positive way to your home. Honestly, be nice to people, because these are people who you're going to live with, who are going to be possibly the closest people to you. So yeah, there's that. Yeah, be fair. Don't be a tyrant and expect people to do things for you. Another thing is, I would say, set really good habits early. I personally always have the habit of making my bed every day. Coming here, I told myself that I'm gonna make sure that I set that discipline for myself. And you know how the saying goes, habits create a lifestyle and lifestyle pave a path. So me having a habit of making my bed creates a lifestyle of a tidy person, and I'm on the path to having a very tidy home. So yeah, think of it in that way, and everything will sort of come together. It pretty much applies to everything in your life, the whole habit thing. If you want to be somebody who is knowledgeable, have the habit of actually absorbing very good information instead of just scrolling mindlessly on Instagram and watch people be really hot on Instagram. Why not pick up a book or sort of follow accounts that are motivational and sort of give you some sort of insight to your life? And finally, establish some sort of balance between your work/uni and your social life, because it's really important to have work-life balance, because you don't want to wake up at the end of the day and just be like, oh my god, I've missed out on so many things, and just feel really shitty about it. Make sure that you sort of prioritize and manage your time around things, because I think there is a way to have not everything in life, but most of what you want in life. And a lot of times that's true. Prioritizing and managing your time. A really good way to do this is by using maybe Google Calendar. I don't know how some people don't live with Google Calendar. I literally sort my week out according to my Google Calendar, and I color code everything. Tests tend to be grays because they represent depth to me. Yeah, and also when you work, be sure that you work effectively. Multitasking, I'm telling you guys, it is a myth. You need to be 100% in whatever you do, whether it's working or playing. Like, work hard, play hard. But that doesn't mean that I don't think that you can do like a variety of projects at once, because I think if you want to move on in life and you want to be very successful in your careers or in whatever you are aiming towards in life, you need to be able to do several things at once. When you're doing those several things, make sure that you give them full focus each time you do each and every one of those things. Like, let's say today you're supposed to do you're supposed to learn how to play piano, you're supposed to do your econ assignment, you're supposed to hang out with your friend and catch up. In all of these 3 things, when it comes to the time of doing those things, be fully present. Don't be distracted. Try not to be distracted anyway. And oh my gosh, I actually have this really cool app I'm currently really into, and it is the Forest app. I feel like I'm really behind this trend, but it's basically this app where you grow a tree. It's so cute, and they give you points. And this is the last time that I worked on it. I did 45 minutes of something. I forgot what I was doing, but I did 45 minutes and they grew me a tree. Yeah, it's really cool because it keeps you accountable control and stops you from, like, the only way that you can exit that app and like access your other social app is through killing the tree, and you don't want to kill the tree. And yeah, you also want to make time for you, because I feel like it's really important for people to sort of have time for themselves, and to me that's either gymming or just reading a book. Having me time is really, really important for my mental health. It keeps me grounded, it keeps me sane, it keeps me happy. So yeah, make sure that you are putting a lot of time into yourself and putting a lot of time into taking care of yourself. And yeah, that's basically all there is to this video. Thank you guys for watching. If you like what I'm doing, please subscribe. I am sorry that I haven't been posting a lot lately. I actually lost my memory card. That's another thing. But thank you guys for watching. If you like what I'm doing, please subscribe. The button is literally down below, so click on that. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys later. Bye.